Welcome to Hardbacks and Hot Flashes. I'm Ro, a 40-something woman trying to read her way through midlife and all the madness that comes along with it. Strap in for some in-depth and hilarious observations from a woman who is reaching her peak feminine rage era. We'll talk all things books, genres, tropes, and those smutty scenes that bring on the other kind of hot flashes. As a mood reader, I am currently in a phase of I don't know what the fuck I want to read. I'm starting books and not finishing them. Plus, I've also got a backlog of arcs that I need to complete and finish, which is also adding to my mood reader mojo going haywire. So, with no finished books to review and little to no desire to finish the ones I've actually started, I thought that this week we'd talk about all the book releases coming up in the next couple of months, because let's be honest, there are so many massive books coming our way. So I'm back again with another podcast. And this week, yes, I'm doing it on all the book releases that are coming out in the next couple of months. So August and September, because there are so many. And I really don't have any books to review. I haven't finished any. I've started lots, like lots, but mood reader and perimenopausal, when they join forces, it's so good. And it's really not good because I don't have anything that I really want to read. I start and I'm like, oh yeah, this is pretty good. And then I stop. So now let's just talk about the books that are coming up that I'll probably start and won't finish. Anyway, as again, notes, always got notes. So bear with me. We're going just August and September because there's actually a lot. In the next couple of months, there's a lot. And I was trying to do August through to the end of the year. And it was going to be a really long podcast, like huge podcast. So cutting it down. Maybe I'll do one of these every couple of months or something. But first off, let's go with August and September. So 1st of August, we actually have Crosscheck by Chelsea Curto. Curto, is that how you say it? I think that's how you say it. Anyway, we have Crosscheck by Chelsea. That is the 6th in the DC Stars series. It's hockey romance and it's contemporary. So go and check this out. I didn't actually know much about Chelsea until Babe last year. Was Babe last year? Whenever. And I was just like, oh, okay, who's this popular author? And yeah, her books are amazing. So go and check that one out. That's on the 1st of August. We then have on the 4th of August, this is a big day, the 4th of August. So The Lion and the Deathless Dark by Carissa Broadbent. Now, this is the 5th in the Crowns of Nyaxia series. I haven't read them. I started the first one and I haven't finished it. I've got that much. Actually, I've probably got less than 50 pages to go and I still haven't finished it. And that was a couple of years ago. So it's got nothing to do with why I'm not reading currently. But I may go back. So I don't have a blurb for you. But if you're reading them, this comes out on the 4th. Then we have Adversary to the Villain by Hannah Nicole Marin. Now, I've read the first one and started the second one on this one. This one, I didn't look at the blurb only because I do kind of like this series. It's really a cutesy, weird vibe. It's a cutesy, weird vibe. I don't know how else to put it, but I will go back and read these. But this one is the 4th, yep, 4th in the series. And it was Assistant and then I can't remember the others. Basically, she's moving up in the world, our FMC. So this one should be really interesting. Next is Pink Ink by Avena St. Graves. My God, am I looking forward to this one. So this one is serial killer, secret society, professor student vibes. So taboo. Well, kind of taboo. Not really. We love it. We love it, right? But this one I'm really interested in. So she's a student, he's a professor, and I think she recreates for a class one of his murders, and he's just like, hello. So looking forward to that one. Then we have You'll Be Sorry by Lisa Gardner. Now, this one is newlyweds who are struggling and they move into this house where the whole family went missing. And now they have to figure out why they went missing because they found a dead body. They found a dead body in their yard and now they don't know who to trust. Ew. Next, we have The Killing Rules by Brie Spain. Now, if I pronounce that wrong, I'm so sorry. But this is also a YA. So the FMC in this is 17 years of age. Now, I did have a friend say to me the other day that while I do sit in dark romance, every so often a YA gets through. And this is why. Because Harper is a bloodbound girl/woman cursed with bloodlust that is only sated by unaliving terrible men. Of course that's going to get through. As if I'm not going to love that book. So when the curse manifests, she unfortunately unalive the father. And in her defense, apparently it was self-defense of the boy she was falling for. And now he is going to stop at nothing to find out who offed his dad. So I think I'm going to be reading that one. That one sounds pretty cool. Eyes of Kings by Chloe Gong is next. That's third in the Flesh and False God series. I want to read these. So again, no blurb, but if you're looking to finish the series, the next one's coming out soon. The Never Queen by Nikki St. Crow. This is the fifth in the Vicious Lost Boys series. I don't have the blurb because, again, I don't want spoilers and I'm actually going to read this. So sorry about that. But this is the fifth one coming out. Then Hate Me, Take Me by Laura Bishop. This is the second in the Obsessively Yours series. Now, I had never heard of this series before. So when I was doing this podcast and doing all my research, I looked it up and I was like, ooh, that sounds really good. So Amanda signs up for an AI boyfriend app thinking it's a gimmick, when in actuality, the guy sending the message back, who she thinks is an AI boyfriend, is actually her ex-husband and he really wants to win her back. After seeing this blurb, I decided I was going to go and check out the first one. And I was like, you know what? These are going on my TBR because these sound really awesome. And that is all I've got for the 4th of August. All right, so that was all for the 4th of August. 6th of August, we only have one, and that's Mostly Human Resources by Grace Vale. Now, if I've said that wrong, I'm sorry again. But Alexis works at Entity, which is a company that manages the world's monsters. So this is kind of dystopian, sort of. When one of her wardens goes missing, she takes the trek into the Appalachian Mountains to find him. And unfortunately for her, Nick, her work nemesis, tags along because he wants to make a name for himself. So this is fantasy, romance, horror, and creepy vibes. But it sounded pretty cool, so added that one to the list. So that was all for the 6th. Now we move on to the 8th of August. And on the 8th of August, Captured Obsession by none other than Kaya Carrington Russell comes out. This is the 5th book in her Insidious Obsession series. And I'm pretty sure it's the last one in the series. This one is the last of the girls. It's Sienna. And she gets kidnapped by Nikolai, who's part of the Bratva. And she's kidnapped because the Bratva want to push Luca. Now, if you don't know who Luca is, he's the guy in the first book. Go and read these. You can read them as standalones if you want. I wouldn't suggest it. Read them all because they're amazing. Anyway, Luca is the Italian mob boss, and he's married to Ara, which is Sienna's friend. So she gets kidnapped so they can force the Italian mob to come out and play, basically. I'm so excited for this book. I've absolutely loved this series. It's one of my favorite series of all time. You need to go and read it. But that comes out on the 8th. Now, the 11th of August, we have Devil by Sierra Simone. So this is the 4th in the Priest series. And I believe that this is about Ryan Bell, which is the younger brother of Priest, the guy in the first book. I haven't read these, so I don't know much about them, but I know they're super popular. So this one comes out on the 11th of August. Now we move on to the 18th of August, and there's a few, so strap in. The Fall Affair by V. Keeland. Now, I saw this when I was doing my research, and I was like, oh my God, I haven't read a V. Keeland book in years. So she had to go on my list, right? Because I loved her. Back in the day, I ate up all her books. This is how this one goes. Allegra has to go to Tuscany to settle her grandmother's estate, but is waylaid by her grandma's will saying that she has to live and work in the antique shop for 3 months or she gets nothing. And not only that, but she has to deal with a sexy Italian winemaker named Mato who leases her family's land. This is obviously small town. I'm going to go with kind of grumpy sunshine or grumpy. I'm not sure whether he's grumpy or not. And obviously it's Tuscany, so why not? So next up is The Best I Never Had by Amy Bircham. I'm pronouncing that wrong probably. But anyway, Theory's a wildfire and has to go to her sister's wedding. She's determined to behave though. She's not going to let loose because it is her sister's wedding. However, things go off the rails when she runs into Owen, who is a guy she actually did a fake engagement with 3 years previous to get his mum off his back. And he's at the wedding. And now Owen's kind of like, hey, can you help me out again? Because mum's on the path again and I don't want to deal with it. So they go round 2 of fake engagement. I thought this one sounded pretty cool because you're going to do it twice. I don't know how that's going to work because if you fake broke up the first time with a fake engagement, how are you going to get back together with a fake engagement? Anyway, I thought it sounded interesting, so I added that to the list. Next, we have I Punched an Alien and Now We Are in Couples Therapy by Kimberly Lemming. So, this is from the author who wrote the books like I Yeeted a Love Potion and It Hit a Werewolf or something. I haven't read them, but I know that they are super popular. So, this one, Blair, is abducted by aliens and dropped on a planet where it turns out she's the king's mate. And they have to go through counseling, which is more like challenges that they have to complete to help the breeding program. And I was kind of like, don't mind a bit of breeding kink. So let's add that to the list. Then we have Bedeviled by Laura Thalassis, fourth book in the Bewitched series, and it's still following Memnon and Celine. Now, I have started the first one on this series. I haven't completed it. So I don't know how this kind of flows on, right? Because in the first one, she's kind of reincarnated. Anyway, obviously, no blurb because I don't want spoilers because I am going to read this series. So that's the fourth one coming out. Next up is Sinister by Veronica Lancet. So she's the author of Fairydale. So this book follows Petra, an outsider stuck in a wealthy town. Sin, the town golden boy. One mistake at a party ties them together, and when people start being murdered, it looks like Golden Boy mightn't be so golden after all. This has gothic, dark academia vibes, so on my list, of course. And that is all for the 18th of August. Well, all I've got anyway. I only have one book for the 25th of August, and that is The Dark in Her Veins by M.K. Lobb. Now listen to this. Sin is a fatal disease. The rich hire the poor to carry out their basest instincts, and the poor pay the price with blood rot. So blood rot is a disease that you get, I assume, from doing the wrong thing. But they're hired out by the rich to complete these tasks that the rich don't want to do because they don't want the blood rot. I was like, ooh, interesting. So I added that to the list. 27th of August brings us Bonfire and Bliss by Brittany Nicole. So this book follows Penny, who owns a local bookstore, and all the old girls in town want to know what's happening with her love life. Monty is her high school best friend, and he's struggling to save his writing career, and he's come back to town. So they decide to do a fake dating to keep one, the old chooks off Penny's back, and two, in return, Penny will help Monty write the perfect book boyfriend. Small town, friends to lovers. I actually kind of think this one sounds super cute. I might actually give it a go because I like the sound of that. Friends to lovers I don't read often. And just so you know, I had to take about 30 million takes just to say Bonfire and Bliss. What the? Anyway, moving on. Also on the 27th of August, we have My Darling Reverie by H.D. Carlton. So this is the second book in the duet, the Hollow Grove series. I don't have a synopsis for this because I actually have the first one on my Kindle ready to go, and I do not want spoilers on this, but I'm super excited. And I'll probably wait until the second one comes out so I can just do 1 and 2 straight away. Now we're moving on to September, and September is actually a huge month as well. So 1st of September, we have Crown of Crimson and Crows by Tessa Hale. This is the first in a magic series. It's awakening 4 vampires, fated mates. The guys don't like her, and she's a little bit like, well, screw you if you don't like me. This one actually sounded really interesting, and I actually do like Tessa Hale's books. I've read them before, so grab this one when it comes out. Also on the 1st of September is I Hope This Email Finds You in Hell. And I was like, oh, that sounds like me. This is by Mackenzie Reid, and this follows Bree, who catches her boss performing an exorcism on a work colleague at work. She works in insurance. Okay. Sworn to secrecy until her work friend goes missing. Not the one that was the exorcism was performed on. I think it's a different one. Anyway, they go missing, and Bree convinces her boss to let her join him in their demon hunting trip to hell. And I was like, aw. Demons, super cute, sounds right up my alley. Then we have Midnight Curfew by Penelope Douglas. When I read the blurb on this one, I got super excited. So, 2 rivals fight forbidden attraction in southern Florida. Dallas from the wrong side of the tracks and Callum from the affluent side are about to come head to head. So this is Enemies to Lovers. It sounded so good. I cannot wait for this one. Super excited for this. And we all know that Penelope Douglas just delivers. Then we have Daddy's Girl by Sarah Kate. So this is the third in the Salacious Legacy series. So I think this is the series after the Salacious Players, I think. Don't quote me. Haven't read them. I've only read Eyes on Me. This is dad's best friend age gap. Amelia wants to move on from her crush, which is her dad's best friend, and find someone. And Matis wants something new. So they both decide to help each other find the one. So they help set up dates and they help pick and choose who they're going to go on dates with and stuff like that, because that's always going to work well. We know what's going to happen there, right? As I said, I haven't read any of them except for Eyes on Me. So do with it what you will, but I know it's super popular. So that also comes out on the 1st. Then I have The Knave and the Moon by Rachel Gillig. So this is the second in the Stonewater Kingdom series. And you'll have to go and check that out yourself because I have the first one on my shelves and I'm going to read it. So no spoilers. We also have on the 1st, see, we're still going on the 1st of September, The Cannibal by Ivy Ophelia. This is the third and final in the Prisoner series. And again, I'm not reading the blurb because it's somewhere. It's somewhere on there and I'm going to read it. So no spoilers. Now we move on to the 3rd of September, and this one I only have one for, and it is, I'm going to say this is how it's pronounced, could be wrong, but Vermeer by S.J. Tilley. So this is her vampire series. It's the second in the Bonded Soul series. I don't have the blurb again because, again, I'm going to read the first one. I'm actually going to do it as a buddy read. So I'm going to read the first one, and I don't want spoilers. I do know it's a vampire and a curvy FMC, which we love. And I love S.J. Tilley. I absolutely love her. She's amazing. So that comes out on the 3rd. Super excited. Then we move on to the 8th of September. This is a big day, this one, because Burn of the Everflame by Penn Cole comes out. Now, this is the 4th in the Kindred Curse. Did I say that right? Kindred's Curse? Kindred's Curse series. And I'm also not looking at the blurb because that's somewhere here. I know this is entirely not helpful for you, right? I get it. I'm not giving you the synopsis, but we don't do spoilers. So that's on my shelf somewhere. No blurb. Go and check it out. Next, we have Kiss Slay Replay by Rachel Harrison. This one sounded super interesting. Willa is at her best friend's wedding. Her ex is also there, but with a date. He brought a date. What a douche. Willa finds the groomsman's childhood best friend, and he's kind of hot. However, the night of the wedding, it turns into like a scene from Scream, and people start getting unalived. Or do they? Because Willa wakes up and realizes it's actually the start of the wedding day. And maybe none of that happened. Maybe it was just a bad dream. Or was it? I was like, okay, weird, kind of cool. Are we talking like time loops? Ooh, this sounds interesting. So added that to the list. The last one for the 8th of September is The Dark Lord's Guide to Honeymooning and Other Acts of Tyranny by Tiffany Hunt. Now, this is the second in the Guides to Villainy and Love series. Also, no blurb for this one because, again, this one's also on my shelves. Oh, you know that how it goes. Have it, haven't read it. The 12th of September brings us Pucked Around and Found Out by Samantha Barrett. Love Samantha Barrett. She's amazing and she's like the best human ever. This is the third in the Devlin Mafia series, and this story follows the same couple all the way through. Again, this is also on my TBR. So sorry, but no blurb. You can go and check it out yourself though. Then I also have Of Myths and Monsters by Veronica Lancet. So she's getting another book. So we're getting one in August from her and one in September. This is the third in the House of Cryos series. There's actually no blurb up just yet. We move on to the 15th of September now. The first one I've got is A Little Pucking Broken by Jen Bullard. Now, there's no blurb for this one either, but this is an Omegaverse. And you know what? I don't mind a bit of Omegaverse sometimes. Kind of like it. Also on the 15th of September, we have Deadbeat by Lee Bardugo. Bardugo. Sorry, Lee. This is the third in the Alex Stern series. So I also want to read this. It sounds super interesting. I did read the blurb on this, but I couldn't quite figure out what was going on. It sounded really confusing. And I was reading the blurb and I'm like, I feel like you have to have read the first books to understand what the hell this blurb is talking about. So if you've read it, go and check it out because it still sounded super interesting, but I was lost. Next, we have Grim Tidings by B.K. Borison. Now, this is the second in the Ghosted series. I actually read the first one of this last Christmas. It was super cute, super cool. She is a Grim Reaper and he is a guardian angel. She's over reaping. She's like, I'm done with this. I'm tired of taking everybody away from their lives. But he thinks she's there to cause trouble in his bar. This is a grumpy, grumpy. And I was like, oh, I love it, grumpy, grumpy. That's so awesome. So check that out, 15th of September. Then we have The Emperor's Enemy by Jasmine Mass. This is the first in a duet. She is a maid fighting for her people, and he is the emperor who wants her caught at all costs. So he hires the emperor's deadliest assassin, named the Tarantula. Ew. Freaking hate spiders. I can't stand them. I actually can't stand them. My dad, when I was really little, went over to America and came back with an actual tarantula in a glass case thing. It's dead and everything, but my whole entire family, like all my cousins and everything, used to scare the shit out of me with it. I hate the damn thing. He gave it to my kids, and my kids love it. It's in my house. Actually, it's in a box in my garage. So when I saw this and I was like, ooh, he's named the tarantula. Ugh. Anyway, it sounded interesting, and Jasmine Mass is a great author. So check that one out. We are now on to the 22nd of September, which is a massive day, people. Massive. So the first one on my list for the 22nd of September is my girl Kaya Carrington Russell has a new dark fantasy romance coming out on this date. She hasn't revealed the title yet or the blurb, but if you go and check out our Insta, you can see that she's hinting at everything. So I am super, super excited for this one. Stay tuned for updates on that one on her Instagram page. Next up on the 22nd of September is Empire by Saboy Sahia. Now, this is the second in the duet, and in all honesty, I read the blurb and again had zero clue on what was going on. I feel like you have to have read the first one to understand the blurb in this one remotely as well, like same as one of the other books. No clue. It sounded super confusing, but super interesting. So if you've read the first, second is coming out soon. Also on the 22nd of September, which is one I'm absolutely hanging out for and I cannot wait, is Fallen Rook by LJ Shen. Yes, 22nd of September, people, this book is out. This is the third in the Society of Villains, and this book follows my main man, Enzo. I love that boy so much. And Tom. Enzo is part of the Italian mafia, and if you've read the other two books, you know who he is. He's the best ever. And Tom, who's the FBI agent, hellbent on bringing Enzo's family down. This is MM. This is dark romance. And if you know anything about this series, you will know that these are full on. I will say, check your triggers, okay? Bad Bishop and Twisted Pawn were full on. So please check your triggers. But I am so excited for this because Enzo is like, he's like the dark version of Riddick. He's like the dark version of Riddick. He's funny and sweet and cute and awesome, and you just love him. But you know that dude could fuck you up like nobody's business. Oh, I'm so excited. I can't wait. Cannot wait for that one. Also on the 22nd of September is Kiss of the Black Flame by Helen Schurer. Now, this book follows Sage, who is a bookbinder who repairs the books others treasure. We love that. As readers, love that. Go Sage. When she's traded and imprisoned, she has to work with Archer, who is also an imprisoned general, to restore a book made of magic that can help set them free. We all know Helen delivers. This book sounded amazing. And the fact that Sage is a bookbinder, I'm there. I'll be getting this one. We then have Pray For Me by Ali Orlando. Now, this is very similar to her book Willing Prey, which I read as a novella. It came out as a novella first, and then she redid it as a full novel. I haven't read the full novel yet, but I will because I did love both the characters in this. This is more based on a fear kink than a primal kink. So Willing Prey was primal, and this one, I think, is more of a fear kink. Again, no blurb, because I'm going to go into it. But I think the characters from this book had cameos and stuff in the first book, I think. Don't quote me. Not entirely sure. And last, but certainly not least on this list for the 22nd of September is The Sweetest Fiend by Raven Kennedy. Now listen up. okay? Because this one sounded interesting and I had to condense it. So it was really hard to pack everything from that blurb into a couple of short sentences. But basically, the world gets ripped open and many Fae are killed, but some Fae are given powers. Now, the Fae with the powers apparently manage to beat the monsters that break through when the world is ripped open and they're defeated. But once those monsters are defeated, they left 9 plagues over the world. That's about as good as I could get it without having a massive long blurb, basically taking the whole blurb. But that sounded super awesome. And we also know Raven Kennedy delivers. Now we're on to the 29th of September. So the first one we've got is Cursed City by Kate Golden. This is second in the Harkham Academy. And I'm not reading the blurb because the first one is on my shelf and I've been told it is absolutely amazing and I have to read it. So no blurb for this one, but if you've read it, the second one comes out on the 29th of September. Okay? Then 29th of September brings us Light Wing by Caroline Peckham and Suzanne Valenti. Now, we know who these authors are, right? We know, Zodiac Academy. This is the second in the series, okay? I haven't read the first one. So again, I'm so sorry, but no blurb because I don't want spoilers. And I know a lot of people may not agree with me, but if you're doing a series or duets or a trilogy and it's all around the same people, the blurbs for the second, third book or whatever always have spoilers. It contains spoilers from the first book, so you can't read the blurb. So I'm sorry, but I didn't read the blurb. You can go and read it though. There is one other book coming out on the 29th of September, right? You guys know the book I'm talking about. The 29th is a big, big day in my notes, right? I've got my notes here and it is a huge day. There's some big books coming out. We still have one to go. And you guys know what it is. It's Threshing Day by Rebecca Yarros. Oh, I have no words to explain the excitement that runs through my body when I discuss anything about this book. Threshing Day is a series of short stories about Threshing Day from different characters within the Empyrean series. I have no idea. I don't think anyone has any idea on who is going to be in this book. Who's threshing? We are going to read. Obviously, I reckon we're going to get Zayden's, right? You have to give us Zayden, okay? But I would love Riddick. I would love Riddick and Atrium. I'm sorry, that would be so cool. Have you seen the ones where they're like dancing along? I swear that would be them. I would also love to see, I would like to see Lilith or Mira or even Brennan. I don't know, but apparently there's only going to be like 12 of them, I think. I don't know. But I am super excited. I hope we get some big names. I would even be happy to see Dane even. I don't know about Liam. I don't know if I can wait. I don't know if I can read one about Liam. I don't think I can deal with that. But super excited for that one. It's 3.5 in the Empyrean series and keep checking for updates. There is no blurb at the moment, but I'm so excited. And now we're on to that last day in September, 30th of September, my birthday. And I cannot tell you how excited I am for this book to come out on my birthday because it is me. This is a me-coded book and I love it. It is called Her Vampire, His Ruin by B. Page. Now, I saw this the other day on B's Instagram page. She put up a post with some artwork and a comment that this person had seen the artwork and said they're not going to read the book because the artwork shows the FMC as old. The FMC is 44. She's not old. She's 44. And because she doesn't look like a 20-year-old, you're not going to read it? Well, then don't. Okay? That's fine. We don't need you to read it. Edie is a 44-year-old perimenopausal divorcee. Dorian is a 300-year-old vampire carrying a curse he doesn't even know about, which is, if he falls in love, he dies. Okay. Give it to me. B, give it to me now. I will take that. I saw it. I commented and I was like, I'm going to read this. The fact that she wrote an FMC who is not 19, 20, 21, is 44 years of age, divorced and perimenopausal. I mean, I'm not divorced, but I'm everything else. And if you want to give me a 300-year-old vampire, I mean, I can work something out with my husband. I'm sure I can. Be fine. Be fine. Don't worry about it. It's all good. I'm so excited for this book. I love reading books where the FMCs and the MMCs and the characters are older than people in their 20s and even early 30s. Love it. It is awesome because perimenopausal women, we don't care anymore. We don't have any fucks to give. We are done. We had all our fucks and we gave them out in our 20s and 30s. And ladies, when you reach perimenopausal age, you're going to be like, oh, I get it. Yeah, I don't have any fucks to give either. You will. You'll love it. It's the best stage. We are in our I don't give a fuck era. Okay. And the fact that this FMC is 44, I cannot wait. I cannot wait. It's on my birthday. And you know what? I'm going to tell my family, I love you all. And I'm so glad you want to spend my birthday with me. But you know what? I'm going to get this book and I'm just going to read all day. Give me coffee, give me wine, give me my book. That can be my birthday present. And that is all we have for the next 2 months. So as I said, this brings us to the end of the book releases in the next 2 months that we are getting. However, it is by no means a completed list. All right. Please understand that this is a list of books that just piqued my interest, or they're the books that I knew everyone wants to know the release dates for. Those big books that everyone's after. If you want to see all the releases for August and September, you can go to this website that I used, which is called New Books Alert. It is actually a fantastic website. It has a lot, like way more than I've got on this list. If I had done everything that was on that list for the 2 months, this would be like an couple of hours long episode. And I didn't want to do that. I will come back in a couple of months and do October, November, December. But I thought this would be long enough. But go and check it out. News Books Alert, great website. And you can actually check them out by month. So I literally went through August and then September, and I even went through some of October and November. So you can go and check it out there. I also use Goodreads. Goodreads is actually a pretty good site to use for releases. Unlike New Books Alert, they don't have them in order. So New Books Alert has everything from the first, second, third, and it goes in order of the month, days of the month. Goodreads doesn't do that. Goodreads is just all of them, and you have to click on it and find out when it's released. But both of those are the sites that I used if you want to go and check out the full list of books we are getting, because there are so many, some really big ones that I don't have on my list because they're not the kind of genres that I read, but go and check it out because it is massive these next couple of months, okay? And I will come back and do the last 3 months. Also remember that with this, these release dates are subject to change. They can change. Authors can put back releases. They can bring them forward. So just remember that. Otherwise, thank you for listening to Hardbacks and Hot Flashes, and I'll be back next week with another all-new, unhinged, bookish episode.